today, renewed fascination with Chernobyl.
That's right. 33 years later, it remains the world's worst nuclear disaster. And now, because of the success of an HBO miniseries exploring its cause, the number of tourists who want to see this place and the abandoned city left behind has really shot up. NBC's Keir Simmons is among those who've traveled there. Keir, good morning.
Hey Savannah, good morning. Here in St. Petersburg, this beautiful city is a destination for tourists from around the world. But Savannah, Chernobyl, well, it turns out tourists are flocking there too because of that incredible HBO series, which is amazing when you think that that radioactive cloud that began in Ukraine spread across the former Soviet Union to here in Russia and throughout Europe, 60,000 square miles. It's been called one of the finest TV dramas ever made, depicting one of the worst nuclear disasters. Chernobyl portrays the 1986 accident at a nuclear power plant and a terrible cost for workers who battled to limit the radiation. Thousands were evacuated, the area abandoned. But tourists can now come here and see where it happened. Locals say since the miniseries started airing, tourism is up 40%.
It's such a sobering place, but from the other hand, it's a beautiful place.
It's very surreal being here.
You know, the radiation is always in the back of your head, but I wanted to see this all so badly that it was a risk I was willing to take.
In fact, the radiation is low enough that while living here has been off limits for decades, visiting is safe. When we came to Chernobyl, we found a ghost town. It's like the clocks just stopped. This was the local doctor's office.
These are people's medical records, just left on the floor.
We carried a Geiger counter.
So my Geiger counter has started making a noise.
Quite legitimately. It's contaminated much higher than the background.
Still, it's safe to briefly enter a kindergarten, evacuated in a hurry. Children's coat hangers, shoes, a child's bike.
Someone learning music.
Now it's eerily quiet. Or it was until Chernobyl airs. The show, highly praised in America, has been criticized by some in Russia for factual errors and even called propaganda because they say it highlights mistakes made under the Soviets. And inevitably, the tourists visiting here have begun to complain about too much tourism.
There are quite a lot of tourists already here, and it does kind of take away the experience of being in a completely abandoned town. So I think if more and more tourists will come here, that will ruin the experience.
You pay under $100 to visit Chernobyl. Making the area safe has cost the world millions. The place, now a monument to human frailty and a decades-old lesson in the importance of protecting our world.
Keir, you touched on this a bit. I mean, in the U.S., people really love this show, but how are Russians, the ones you're talking to there, how do they feel about it?
We know, Savannah, there are lots of them who've really enjoyed it and welcomed it. There are others who complain that it turns Russia into the bad guy again. There is even talk of a Russian version, including a conspiracy theory that the CIA was involved in some way in Chernobyl. That has no basis in fact. But you know, Savannah, I think what it illustrates is how easily Russia and America can slip back into that kind of Cold War confrontation, those stereotypes. And that, Savannah, should worry us for another reason, for another nuclear reason, because remember that both America and Russia have more than 6,000 nuclear warheads each. Put simply, human beings have the capacity for a far worse nuclear accident than Chernobyl, Savannah.
No question, an adversarial relationship with Russia vis-a-vis what's happened with our elections as well. Keir, thank you very much.